troopers and grinders. Hank the Tank is back. I'm sorry I had to delete the previous stream because it got a little how to put it? It got a little heated, which was honestly expected given it was a political stream, and I should have seen that coming, but because of that, if you missed my Wednesday stream, Hank has been technically, I guess, MIA for the last 5 days. And even Mailson on Geo's IG chat was like, "Oh, salute to Hank, man. He's gone. I don't know where he is, dude. He's been terminated. His profile picture is gone. I'm gonna have to investigate that, by the way. I don't know how the hell my profile picture is not showing up in on Instagram. Maybe somebody just stopped, was just tired of it staring at them, so they just had to cut it. Had to relieve it of its duties. But I'm gonna look into that after this stream is done. Very strange turn of events. Kobe Wiggle says hello, my boy. Wait, hold on, let me make sure. There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't even do the design for any of this stuff. Wow. Sorry guys. I ran out of hours on StreamYard, and now it's back to the restream era, unfortunately. Very sad turn of events. I actually have to set up all this shit again. I forget it all. There we go. Now that should be good. And then we go to the captions. 2 hours later, the sea, full of teeming ocean life, as well as a few strange creatures or two, including this guy, a starfish. Now listen up, here's a story about a little guy who lives in a blue world. And all day and all night, and everything he says is just blue, like him. Inside and outside, blew his house with the blue little window and a blue Corvette. And everything he sees is just blue. And himself, 'cause he ain't got nobody to listen. Actually, no, I do have somebody to listen. Makayev just got a knockout win. Probably in a promotion I've never heard of once in my life. Good for him. He's making money. Too bad he'll never be a champion in any major organization. Yeah, it's Lloyd. Lloyd the bartender, dude. Like, word, dude. Fucking, did you get my singing bowl or not? Where the fuck is my singing bowl, Lloyd the bartender? Like, I asked you to do one thing, dude, and next thing you do, you're like, tell me to fucking ice Aisha or something, and like, take out my entire extended family, dude. Like, you're gonna have to give me some TV and some beer first, dude. You're gonna have to parlay with me. We gotta bet on this shit before I can do it, all right? So, how am I supposed to do this if I don't know that it's gonna work out for me? Okay? How am I gonna know? How am I gonna do this if I can't profit from it? All right, Lloyd. Like, I'm not just gonna burn this place down if I'm not gonna collect the insurance money, Lloyd. Dick. Word. How have you been so far? I've been pretty good. I've been productive. Yeah, Kobe Wiggle. Like, dude, I'm working on something. And it's taking me a little while, but it should pay off for me, dude. Like, it's a good investment. It's better than the fucking round robin parlays, Kobe Wiggle. Like, dude, this shit's making me money. Woo! Makayev is a beast. He's better than Joshua Van. Yeah, it's just too bad he couldn't get out of his own ego's way and just ran through like a freight train. And UFC just couldn't take it. They was mad as hell, and they're not gonna take this anymore. He fucked around and found out. Did it with too many people. What dive bombed Manel Cap during a freaking selfie, and also apparently was not having that great relations with the bookers either. Those are the dudes who make you your fucking money, you retard. You stay in good relations with them or you get cut. So he made enemies with all the staff in the UFC. The fighters don't like him. The matchmakers don't like him. Dana doesn't like him. Who you got left? He fucked up. He played the political game. He said screw you to the political game and found out. So you don't mess around with the matchmakers. That's just idiotic shit. Drinking some cucumber water. Oh my God. Cucumber's like my least. Well, wait a minute. No, zucchini's good. I hate cucumbers. I don't like cucumbers. It depends. I guess if you pour some vinegar and some salt on them, and you give them some sort of flavoring or hummus to dip in, like I can get on board with that. But if it's just cucumber by itself, I mean, maybe cucumber water in general, it gives it a nice palate. But I hate cucumbers in general. So I remember when I was in college, I used to see some cucumber water at the cafeterias that I would frequent, and it tasted all right. So good for you. But cucumbers in general, they're the worst vegetable on the planet, as far as I'm concerned. Aside from mushrooms. Hey, Andrew Nance. 10 hut! At ease, troopers and grinders, and prepare yourselves for the worst experience of your life, the war zone. Ooh, yeah, dig it. I'm going to what's the oh gee, I'm going to Vegeta level 5. Yeah. I'm a twister spinning around through the city. Yeah. I'm wreaking havoc and I'm taking names, including your name, Ricky Steamboat. Yeah. I'm a cyclone going through human civilization. I cannot be stopped. Nobody who isn't superhuman within an inch of his life could prepare himself for the Macho Man Randy Savage, because I'm better than you. Yeah! Prepare yourself for macho madness in the war zone! Yeah, it smells and tastes beautiful. Oh, wonderful. Oh, that's good cucumber. Jesus Christ. Ducorn Hankio. Yeah. Hey, prepare the emoji. Andrew Nance, prepare for launch. Get ready. Here comes the emoji. Here comes the membership emoji. Wait, hold on. I need to start out with sugar. Give me the pills. Give me the pills, lady. Sugar. I am Cornelio. Yeah, check this out, butthead. I need TP for my bunghole. Bunghole. Is this Nicaragua? My bunghole will ask the questions. Let me drive the cockpit. You said cock. No, I didn't. Asswipe. Are you threatening me? I need the Rolio. Cornolio. I demand TP. I need TP. Is this Nicaragua? Titicaca, Nicaragua. I want a revolution. We are going to take over the prison. Until we get TB, we are not satisfied with the current conditions. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Yeah, that kid's right. Well, I demand TB. I want TB. Yes. Flip over your tables. Yeah, get each other's bungholes. Oh, boy. All right, we're in a good place. Starting off the show in a complete banger. No diddy, man. Hey, man, no diddy. Cornangio! Are you threatening me? Shut up, McDigger! Gilly impression? Yeah, like, who's this fucking spaz kid high on crack, dude? Like, he's going around asking for fucking toilet paper and bung holes, and dude, I haven't had a fucking Rolio in like 3 decades, dude. Like, word. Dude, get away from me, man. Like, whoa! Yo! Yeah, don't hurt me, dude. Okay? Dude, don't hurt me. Want a cigarette? Yeah, I'll give you a fucking cigarette. Here. Take it. Just don't hurt me, all right, dude? Yeah, I'm fucking killer. I'm gonna fucking kill you, Parlay. Where you at, bitch? Where you at? Why don't you go in there and give him some of this, all right? I'm a trained fighter, fucking Muay Thai. I mean, I just got a shoulder injury, all right? It's all right. I just got a little bit of it. It's okay. I got it from the car accident. Fucking come here, Cornakio, yo! Fucking bag, man. Why don't you come over here and get down with the real man? I show my apartment, dude. You know where I'm at. Where you fucking at, Cornhankio? I am Cornhankio! If you are threatening me, I am going to take out Rolio and shove it up your bunghole. Oh, yo, don't do it. Dude, how much do you want, okay? $2,800, I'll pay it, dude. I'll pay it, all right? Imagine Tatsuro Taira versus Muhammad Makayev. Who do you think wins that? Oh man, that's a good one. I'd actually sort of argue that Tatsuro Taira is probably better on the feet because it just seemed like the striking of Muhammad Makayev never really translated to. It never felt like it translated to the UFC well. So I'd say that Tatsuro Taira would probably be the better striker, even despite the karate combat shit and the brave shit. I think I still think that Taira's a better striker. So Muhammad Makayev would have to shoot for the legs. And honestly, I think he'd get it. I think Muhammad Makayev would probably win, but it'd be close. It'd be close, but I think it would result in Makayev beating him down. Maybe latching up a third round sub or winning a decision. Corningio! Oh, hold on. There you go. Where's the energy? Where's this energy when you're on the clown show? It's because it's late at night and I'm just trying to keep myself alive for the most part. I mean, and they don't really ask for the impressions, man. They're just like, I'm on there and I'm fighting for my life and it's politics and that's it, you know? If it was Vinny like asking me to come on and do some impressions, like then I'd tap into that sort of energy. Yo Hank, what up? Hey, yo Hank. Oh wait, hold on. Let me try to do a sniff voice. Yo Hank, what up? Or no. It's not as simple as that. Yo Hank, what up? It's more like that. Yo Hank, what up? How's it going, Sniff? Good to see you. Let's fucking go. Thank you for the super chat. $5 from the great Drew Ups from the Clown Show community, also known as Andrew Dance. Remember when that Jafel Filho guy had that knee bar on Makayev? That was brutal. Yeah. He to me, that wasn't a good look. That's why I just sort of faded him for his next couple fights after that. Because he just always found a way to look bad in the fights that he won. Like, he could never just get a dominant, win. There always had to be some moment of terror and complete resistance from his opponent that caught him off balance. Yo, Hank, what up? Remember when that win has aged well, Jean Don. Yes, it has. It has aged well. I still don't think Filho's all that good though. Like, is it just me or do I feel like it feels like Filho's never going to be a top 15 guy at bantamweight. It feels like he's, always going to be sort of middling. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to get close. He's going to get close. And then there's going to be some nail biter fight that doesn't go his way. And then it's back down, Sometimes you have those kinds of fighters. And also, sometimes you have fighters that go on insane win streaks and they still don't get a shot at the rankings. Like is RoboCop still ranked at this point, right? But dude, for like 2-3 years, like we were begging for RoboCop to get ranked and then it just didn't happen. Yes, I sound just like Batman. Yes, I sound just like Batman. I'm not wearing hockey pants. Where are they? You have nothing to threaten me with. Nothing with all your strength. You and I, we both realize, Hank, how the people of this city are actually atheists and are trying to shy away from this insane revolution you had planned. There are religious riots in the streets, but the heart of this city keeps itself alive. Something tells me that you and I are going to be doing this forever. Face orange biting nails. Actually, let me try to do it in just the sniff voice. Yeah, Hank. Yo, yeah, Hank. I sound just like Batman. You got it figured out, Hank. I sound just like Batman. Face orange biting nails. 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 RoboCop is still not ranked. He had an opportunity versus Jared, but he lost. Fuck. His one chance, and he dropped him too. Uh, MVP gets to enter the rankings, but RoboCop doesn't. What kind of world are we fucking living in, man? This is a travesty. What do you think the most overrated movies are? That's a nice question. Let me think. It has to be one that would it receive critical acclaim or just people like it? The Notebook. Let me think of some other shitty comedies on romantic comedies. What are some that have some really horrible dynamics that are just not good? I'm trying to think. Because a lot of movies that are critically acclaimed, I do like. Maybe The Graduate. I don't know if The Graduate is all that good. Like I watched it at the time, and there were some nice shots, but I just didn't get into it. Trying to think of some modern movies. It's hard for me to go through the list. It's a new movie out every year. I mean, Frozen always had its cringy, corny aspects. Like if you told me a movie, I could tell you all about it. It's just maybe The Big Lebowski too. I don't know. The Big Lebowski seemed. I mean, they were just. It had some fun moments, but it's nothing near what Fargo was. And the story was sort of nonsensical. Let me think of some other ones. Actually, I'm going to go through a list. You got me interested. I'm going to go through some movies that a lot of people like. This stream is going off track. I also thought Interstellar was kind of overrated. I don't really like Inception that much. Inception's sort of lame. You know, it has some wacky stuff, but again, I'm not interested in the characters. Dialogue doesn't fascinate me that much. It's just how can we make all these strange fever dream scenes look pretty? Let's go through this. Because there are definitely some that are very well liked that I can't get myself to back. All right. Have you seen Joker 2019? I thought that movie was incredibly overrated. I really do like the direction for that, though. I think Joaquin Phoenix deserved that Oscar. It was an incredible final scene. The build up to it, I don't know, man. I feel like there's still a lot of that movie that's like just sort of in the background. Like it's one of those movies that has everything sort of coordinated and everything's purposeful. Even though it doesn't seem like it. You notice just some of the clocks are just way off. And there are moments in the movie that make you realize that a lot of what's going on is in Arthur's head. And for that, I got to give the movie credit. It's a downer for most of it, though. But so was Taxi Driver, let's be honest. The final act is incredible, but I think the buildup was necessary. And at every shot, it's visceral. Angry, although the part where he climbed in the fridge is a little stupid. Let's be real. Let's see. Jesus. Am I really going to do this? Jesus, sorry. I think The Wizard of Oz is honestly a little bit overrated. Even though it's a classic, like just watching it back, I think there's some scenes that are ridiculous, especially in Oz. There's a lot of distractions from the main plot. I never really liked the final act where they go to the castle. Monkeys were fucking terrifying, and I don't know, it just wasn't a good time in the second half. Also, that she wakes up and it was all a dream, created that trope. Let me look through some more. Platoon, I watched it like a year or two ago, And I gotta be real, man. It was more like just a big old action movie than it was like a Vietnam War movie like Apocalypse Now was, because Apocalypse Now was, felt like an art film, felt like it was saying something. It was a really nasty picture of the war, just like Full Metal Jacket was. But Platoon was just more, oh, yeah, we're going through conflict. Oh, it's traumatizing us. But now we're going to have this all action scene where everybody's dying. And, it sort of it didn't feel real that much. It started to lose its sense of reality towards the second half. And that dude, like, it's a great scene where Willem Dafoe dies, arms outstretched. But the truth is, he would have been dead if the first shot hit him, you know? Um, yeah, I felt like Platoon sort of went overboard with it. Let me see if there's some more. Seventh Seal. Yeah, Big Lebowski, I wasn't the biggest fan of. Lahaine, by the way, Lahaine, the 1995 French film. I'm going scrolling through IMDb right now. Lahaine is a great film if you've never watched it. That film was fucking phenomenal. Every shot is great. How's the Terminator number 221? That's an overrated film. The first Terminator is very overrated. Practical effects have not aged very well at all. Arnold isn't at his best acting in that. I thought the main two characters weren't as engaging as the ones in the second film. It had its funny moments, but I don't know. The practical effects didn't age well. The part where he scoops out his eyeball, no little skeleton. Oh, little horror part at the end. It's a fun movie. I'm trying to assess them on if they're overrated. There were chunks of the Terminator that I wasn't that engaged with. I haven't seen all of Inception, but I've seen some of the beginning. I felt a bit bored by it. I agree. How many guys miss weight? I'm gonna have to check that actually. I know Larry'd be eating that shit up. My issue with Joker 2019 was that so many bad things happen to Arthur throughout the movie, and it just becomes almost comical. Yeah. Hey, that's almost poetic, isn't it? Though they put him through so much that it becomes almost comical, right? My life is a comedy, as Arthur Fleck put it. My life has become a comedy of errors. See, I mean that's intentional though, right? They put him through so much that he's just like, you know what? I'm done with life because life is as it is not going my way. So you know what? I'm just gonna laugh at it because it's all a joke. That's the whole point. Return to Oz is great. Oh, that one fucking scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I don't think I even watched all of it. I watched like 3/5 of it and I hated it. Um, but it was true to what the books were. So I got to give them credit there. They went above and beyond to make it as dark and twisted as the book was. So shout out to them for at least trying. But that movie scares the shit out of me. Everything in that fucking movie scares the shit out of me. Like he gets beat up by those kids in the beginning. He loses his job, gets beat up by those guys on the train, gets made fun of on TV, etc. Yeah. The kids beating him up, I get. Sometimes bad shit happens all at once. But yeah, the getting beat up by those guys on the train is a little bit too coincidental. But once he kills them, then it all makes sense. I felt like his downfall was a bit lazily. Also, you got to realize this: it if you view the film as, oh, all this is happening realistically and all this is not in his head, then it's like, man, these are a lot of strange coincidences, and why is he the center of attention for all of this? But if you look at it from the lens of he's already a lunatic and he's delusional and his whole world is crumbling around him and it's actually all in his head, then all the Arthur centric stuff in the movie and like it makes complete sense because it's just like, oh, it's actually him creating his own world to try to cope with the one that he's living in right now. I think that was their intention. Oh, yeah, true. There's a channel called Dave Talks Too Much, and he made a review about Joker. It's a bit long, but I would definitely recommend it. Yeah, it's probably a good objective take. Do, 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 do. I think The Third Man might be a little overrated. I mean, I like Harry Lime as a character a lot, but that movie is just sort of it's how to put it. It gets convoluted real quick. Like, oh my god, they're poisoning an entire fucking city, and Harry Lime's behind it. Like, are you kidding me? And then the sewer scene is a little drawn out. Like, the Third Man is like the first 2/3 are great, and then it just starts to get out of control, and it becomes fucking science fiction. Rocky's best. On the waterfront was great. I actually watched that movie on an airplane. It actually held up very well. Uh, Logan. Logan. 211 best movie of all time. That movie's a bit of a bummer, and the villain isn't that memorable. I think that movie might be a little overrated, but it's still really well done. But like there are some scenes that really sort of take you out of it, that don't keep the tonal, that don't retain the tone of the movie. Deer Hunter, I'm gotta watch that one of these days, but that's a movie of two halves, so I'm not sure if that might be overrated. Uh, Ford versus Ferrari number 203, definitely overrated. Are you kidding me? Ford versus Ferrari is unbelievably overrated. That's what I'm going to end it on. Ford versus Ferrari. Let me show this. This is ridiculous. Number 203 on IMDb of the greatest movies of all time. I think people like it because it's got Matt Damon and Christian Bale. But what is there in a race car movie that makes it one of the great stories ever told in film? Like, it has some nice camera work and some editing and shot selection, but is that really a story that you'd put among the best ever told in film? Nah, no way. I like that as a movie. I thought it was like a 7 point something. I didn't think it was an 8.1. I didn't think it was a masterpiece to be lauded by everybody. I was just a solid film. Like, yeah. There you go. There's my answer. I finally found one in the last 5 years that I can say is underrated, and it's Ford versus Ferrari. How the fuck is that considered one of the great films of all time? It's a really good flick. It's really well done, but its story is just inherently not like worthy of appreciation as among the greats. No way. Not over like Third Man and Wizard of Oz and Terminator and what are the other ones I went through? Deer Hunter, On the Waterfront, and Rocky. Are you telling me that fucking Ford versus Ferrari is better than Rocky? Are you fucking kidding me? No way. Hey, MMA guru Simon Frank. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on Hank's Warzone and I'm reaching out for a handshake deal. Ladies and gentlemen, Citizen Kane. That is right. Troopers and grinders. Simon Feck is in the building. And now, bam, there goes the light switch, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you, Feck. Citizen Kane. The overrated. There are parts of it that like there are certain scenes that got so like drawn out that they literally needed a jump scare from a parrot to get people invested in the movie again. That's a great point. The movie got so long-winded at one point that literally they had to do a jump scare to wake the audience back up. Ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck is the talk of the town and getting involved in everybody's biznatch, ladies and gentlemen. Simon Feck has come home to roost. The eggs have finally hatched, and Simon Feck can finally be free, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's without further ado, let's get into these damn preview picks because I've gone fucking 30 minutes, which is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. I knew this shit would go on forever, ladies and gentlemen. Is this better? No. Let me find a better backdrop for this too. Yeah, that's decent. Now listen up, here's a story about a little guy who lives in a bird world. Everybody heard about the bird. Bird, bird, bird. A bird is the word. Bird, bird, bird. A bird is the word. Bird, bird, bird. What a bird is the word. About a bird, bird, bird. A bird is the word. Hey, don't you know about the word? Well, Simon Fick knows that the bird is the word. A bird, bird, bird. A bird, 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 bird. Surfing. Ooh, mow, mow, 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 ooh, mow, mow. Hey, don't you know about the world where Peter's gonna tell you that the bird is the word? What a bird, bird, bird. Watch, clown. Ladies and gentlemen, Simon Fick wants to know who to pick and who to bet on here, ladies and gentlemen. And Hank the Tank, the war zone is coming to the Simon Fick Show. And it's ficked up, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's get into the preview and picks. Here we go. So first fight on the card is between Timothy McVeigh. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Jackson McVeigh taking on Zachary's Pizza. And both these guys are not the best of competition for middleweight, which is honestly a depressing statement. If you can't even be the best, if you can't even be a good middleweight, like you're probably one of the worst fighters in the UFC. Jackson McVeigh got subbed by Bruno Ferreira, had him on bottom, and Bruno just reversed him into an armbar. Easy as that. Other than that, he's getting a lot of subs on the ground. Is Jackson McVeigh, and he also got a KO 4 months ago, which shows that hey, this guy can brawl. He can get it done on the feet. He's multi-talented, but I just think Zach Reese beats him in all aspects of this fight. I know that he got, a no contest against Dumas, but he was still looking decent in that fight early on. Beat Dusko Todorovic, who got a win after that, so that win aged all right. Lost to Bekaev, that loss is not aged well, but I still feel Bekaev was able to destroy him on the ground through, just ground and pound. I don't think McVeigh's a ground and pound guy. I think he needs to find a finish on the ground to win, and I think that Zach Reese's BJJ is actually pretty good. He can latch up subs off of his back, like he can find submissions in unwanted positions when he wants to. And that sounded really awful coming out. Okay, Julian Marquez, he knocked out really early on. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a certain adjective. This is always inopportune positions. He manages to find a way to get himself out of these problems. Now, he did get dropped on his head by Cody Brundage, but I don't feel like somebody like Jackson McVeigh is just going to whoop, boom, take him down, powerbomb him like that. He just seems like a guy who needs to get the submission. He doesn't seem like a striker who has to powerbomb you to get out of a position like other warriors. It feels like if he latches in something, he's going to try to lift him and then he can't, and then he'll just roll to his side, Like McVeigh's a really good hammer. He's just not a good nail. And as soon as he was put in a prone position against Bruno Ferreira, he just tapped, Like he was put in an armbar. He could have lifted Ferreira up and dumped him like Brundage did to Reese, but instead he just rolled over and played dead, basically. Whereas Zach Reese, yeah, he hasn't actually thrown up a lot of submissions in a while, but I think he still has the ability. Honestly, I think he can tap into his roots if he wanted to. And so, but I do think he can get out of bad positions through his BJJ. And then on the feet, I think that Zach Reese is the better striker. I know McVeigh has gotten some crazy finishes, and that way these two sort of mirror each other. But unlike Jackson McVeigh, Zach Reese doesn't like fold as soon as you start hitting him. Like he takes a licking and keeps on ticking. I think the Dusko Todorovic fight sort of proved that. Like he was in a bad spot at certain moments in that fight, but he didn't give up, got back to his feet, made it competitive. Whereas Jackson McVeigh, I feel like if Dusko Todorovic was putting it on him, I think McVeigh would just quit I think his striking defense is shit. Like, and he gives up rather easily. So for that reason, I think Zach Reese is going to put it on him early on in round one, just blitz him. And I think like the Julian Marquez fight, I think he's going to just hurt him bad up against the fence and just put him out on his feet. So Zach Reese Pizza by round 1 KO. Let me take a look at the comments. True. Oh, Simon Feck thinks it's true, ladies and gentlemen. This Hank guy has something special, ladies and gentlemen. Miles Johns and Daniel Marcos in the second fight of the card. Early, actually not early prelims. This is a fight night in the Apex. What am I fucking saying? But listen up. Here we go. So Miles Johns. How do I rate where this guy is in terms of skill? Because he manages to make it close with Felipe Lima, manages to make it close with Gene Matsumoto to a point of a split, but he just doesn't do enough, guys. Like, he throws a leg kick. He throws a punch. No, not a punch. He throws a hook. He throws a leg kick. He throws an overhand. He throws a leg kick. And he just can't put any combinations together. He's a fighter of single shots, praying that he catches you with something. Like, only two people he's beaten are Douglas Silva de Andrade and Cody Gibson. And I get that it was close with Gene, but there's a good argument that Gene won that. Like, Gene was just more technical. Gene beat him to the punch most of the time, got combinations together, whereas Miles Johns can't go a mile in his Johns. Jimmy's Johns. And he throws single shots. And hey, he connected. Oh, and that affected him. Oh, you could see it on his face. But then what happens the rest of the round? You get outboxed. Like, yeah. He can't run a mile in his Johns. And he got beaten by a guy named John, too. So it makes sense. But I feel like Daniel Marcos is just Gene Matsumoto turned up to 11. Like, he's just super technical. He beats you to the punch. He circles around. He pitter-patters you at range. Pieces you up just a little bit. Enough to make it competitive. Against Montel Jackson, he wrestled. And he actually worked. Like, he was able to get some takedowns on Montel Jackson. Like, that just tells me that Daniel Marcos has a really good bag of tools. No diddy. And he just has a lot of facets to his game. Like, if he needs to, he can take you down. If he needs to, he can be technical. If he needs to, he can scrap with you. Like, Miles Johns is just one guy. He scraps. And he doesn't even scrap well. He just throws single shots and pretends it's a war. Like, you know what you're going to get with Miles Johns. More like fucking Inches Peters. You know what I mean? But Daniel, no diddy again. But Daniel Marcos, he just got a better output. He does. Now, maybe Miles Johns hurts him at some point in round 2, and it's like, oh, the momentum swings like it did with Adrian Yanez. But I don't know. I don't think Miles Johns is as fast as Yanez. I think it's going to be harder for him to catch Daniel Marcos. Daniel Marcos is just an annoying fighter. I don't like him that much at all. I'm glad he lost to Montel Jackson. But he is still pretty talented. He's like, he's like discount Peruvian Chris Gutierrez, Like, nothing special on the feet, but he just finds a way to win and just does a little more than you. And that's what he's going to do here against Miles Johns, who doesn't throw combinations. So I think Marcos is going to win the decision. He's going to stay out of trouble. He knows what to expect against Inches Peters. He took his Johnson. Anyway, next fight. We have got we have, what do we have? All right. We got Tisha Pennington against Denise Gomes. I think people are saying it's Denise Gomez, but I think it's Denise Gomes. That's all I've heard people calling her. But Tisha Pennington, the tiny tornado, she has come through to me on many an occasion. I think I picked her against Carlos Esparza. I picked her against Luana Pinheiro. And she got it done both those times. The only time she let me down was against Tabitha Ritchie. And it can be really argued that Tisha won that fight because she was unloading with way more punches than Baby Shark, that's for sure. Now, Baby Shark has actually bounced back, and I'm a little happy for her. She got a finish. She got the win. Good for her. But Denise Gomes, I feel like she has way more power than Tisha Pennington. She knocked out Elise Reed early on, dropped Carolina early on. Even against Eduardo Mora, where she didn't really get her combinations together that well or exert a lot of power, she still stuffed everything and beat her up on the feet. I think that's a really good win. Only lost to Angela Hill, and Angela Hill is, beats every, used to beat every prospect with a pulse, so I don't blame her for that. Tisha Pennington could win. She could. There's a chance. But I don't like how competitive she was making with Luana Pinheiro. I really don't. She made it way too close in a fight with an 11-4 chick, and could have easily lost that decision. Again, she point fights, sort of like Daniel Marcos. She doesn't do anything to the point where she dominates rounds, Like, she just has some good moments, and she's lucky if she wins the rounds. Whereas Denise Gomez, all she needs to do is land on you and you fall down. And that instantly wins her the rounds because she has power. And I feel like that's going to be the difference maker here because Denise Gomez, she's got the power. And Tisha Pennington, she has nice striking, but she doesn't have power. And eventually, I do think that Denise Gomez is just going to hurt her. I don't think she's going to put her away because Tisha Pennington is a skilled vet and she hasn't been finished by anybody. But I think she is going to get beat up. I think Denise Gomez is going to hurt her at certain points. She is going to drop her at certain points. Because it's a women's strawweight bout, we're not going to get a finish. But I think Tisha's going to, she's going to do enough to make it competitive, like she always does. But then the power is going to shine through from Denise Gomez. She has more of a killer instinct than Tisha. And I think that's going to win her at least 2 out of 3 rounds. So give me Denise Gomez by decision. Would not be surprised if she found a finish. Speaking of finding a finish, we got Josh Hawk. Fuck! We'll do it live! Fuck it! I'm going to get myself canceled live! Taking on Max Jimenez. And let me see. So Josh Hawk, fuck! He is trying to be little Colby Covington. Look at little Colby Covington Jr. Gonna cry, Hold on, let me make sure this is good. There we go. Hawkett wants to be Colby, but he can't be Colby. Discount Colby. He just, goes after certain individuals and groups, and that's how he gets over, and that's how, people hate him and want to see him lose. But I don't think he's going to get as far as Colby. I really don't. He looked sort of gassed out in round 2 of his Contender Series fight, and he was lucky that the other guy didn't really have any get-up ability, and he smoked him. But this is a tough test for Josh Hawkett to start. I really debated sort of going back and forth on this because Max Jimenez has taken on the best grapplers. He took on Craig Jones, if I'm not mistaken, DJ, a bunch of guys who are BJJ pros and champions in grappling. So if this goes down to the mat with Josh Hawkett, there could be a good chance that Max Jimenez just, there's a chance that he reverses, finds his way on top, Hawkett's on bottom, and then boom, 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 and Jimenez just latches up a sub on him. There's a chance of that, but I think Josh Hawkett's going to show his striking here because Max Jimenez, he's showing power. He's destroying cans on the feet. But I feel like Josh, he's got a jab behind him. He's got a leg kick. He can throw some hooks. He knows fundamentals, striking fundamentals, before he got to the UFC. And I think Max just swings at the air and it was just a brawler, meathead. And he's going to swing and he won't find the chin of Josh Hawkett. I don't think so. At least not, enough to swing the fight. I think Hawkett's going to take a punch and be like, oh, okay. And then he's going to jab, 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 leg kick. And then when he needs to, he's going to shoot for that takedown. And as much as Jimenez likes to scramble, I think Hawkett can just wrestle and pull him down. because he's a former San Francisco 49er, former football player. He's an athlete. He's a national wrestler. Like, he has the ability to just drag his opponents down and make them look helpless down there and pin them, No diddy. But I think Josh Hawkins just going to be on the back of Max Jimenez. And instead of, going for a sub, I think Hawkins just going to throw some bombs Jimenez's way. And in that way, I don't think Jimenez will even have the ability to grapple because he'll just have his arms taken from him. He'll be on his chest, like struggling to get up. And then Hawkins just going to be raining down blows. That's how I think Hawkins gets this guy out of there. I think he's going to do what he did against Uriel. Oh, Muriel. All right, I'll do it, but I won't like it. Oh, courage. Could you see who's at the door? Oh, why do I have to always check who's at the door? I've lost control of my life. Sorry, I just entered Courage the Cowardly Dog mode. Why does this always happen to me? What are some Courage catchphrases? The things I do for love. There you go. The things I do for love. But yeah, he's been getting knockouts recently. He used to be able to get submissions, but now he's starting to find his killer instinct on the mat. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of scrambles here with Max. I really don't. If Josh Hogan's stupid and he tries to wrestle and get a submission, I do think there's a chance Jimenez gets on top and then this thing's over. I'll be real, this thing's over if Jimenez gets on top. But if Hockett has the back and Jimenez is on bottom, I do think Hockett can ground and pound him out, no diddy. So give me Josh Hockett to honestly look better on the feet than Max, drag him down to the mat when he wants to, and then just beat him up on the ground. It seems like a good enough formula. All right. Next one is between Mayra Bueno Silva and, hey, look what we got. It's Pulse Reloaded. Good to see you, Pulse. Rude Boy for the win. We'll have an interesting discussion about the fights here. I mean, if you want to hop on, I can send you the link in the chat, but yeah, just wait a little bit. I'm going to get to the main event because I've got a very unique take. I don't know if you'll agree with me on it, so. Yeah, Randy Brown is very good, though. Randy Brown is a brawler. And yeah, it looked really good against Nicholas Dalby. But I think there are some rose tinted glasses being what am I trying to say? I think there are rose glasses getting put on by people who are picking Randy Brown just based off of Bonfim's last performance against Wonder Boy. I think some people's eyes are getting clouded. You know what I mean? The vision's getting clouded. Okay, here's the link. If anyone wants to hop on and chat with the tank about the predictions, let me know. But yeah, next we got Mayra Bueno Silva against Jacqueline Cavalcante. Mayra Bueno Silva, man, 10-5-1. That's an awful record. Literally, she hasn't gotten a win since Lena Landsberg almost 8 years ago. Technically submitted Holly Holm, but that, she got caught for a supplement, so that win got overturned. Got smoked by Raquel Pennington. Smoked by Macy Chasson. Well, she wasn't smoked by Pennington, but she lost 3 rounds. And that's what cost her the belt. Honestly, God, both these two should be considered the worst, some of the worst champions in the history of the UFC if they won that belt. I think Buena Silva would have been beaten by fucking Juliana Pena. So, yeah, she probably would have been even worse. I think Pennington won that shit against Pena, though. I really do. Hype Vinny, hype Vinny, hype Vinny. All right, let's get it. But Macy Chasson just, dragged her down, beat her up. Honestly, schooled her on the feet and on the ground, and got the doctor stoppage with the elbows, which is not aged well, by the way. Hasn't aged well whatsoever. Jasmine Jasuda Vicious, meanwhile, just smothered her for 3 rounds, and that just tells me that Jacqueline's going to win. Now, is Buena Silva a solid wrestler? Yes, she is. But is Cavalcante a good counter wrestler? Oh, here we go. I think he's here. I think Pulse is here. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Pulse Reloaded. It's been a long time. How's it going? Son of a preacher man. Pulse? Wait, I think his mic's off. Guest muted themselves. Hey, Pulse, can you hear me? Wait, Gilly. This is probably no chill, right? Hello? Can anybody unmute themselves? What is happening here? Am I tripping? What is going on here? Hello? Hello? I'm gonna check YouTube. Or is this Lloyd the bartender? What the hell is going on here, guys? Can anybody hear these people? Otherwise, this is not good television, ladies and germs. No, I can't hear either of these people. Nope. They're not getting through. I'm sorry, guys. I got to kick you. Yeah. Man, that's a shame. Also, guys, check this out. I want to show this. Here we go. Here we go. We finally did it, boys. We're finally free of the middling split decision era. $1.8K subscribers, everybody. We did it. Finally, man. It took a lot of trooping and grinding, but I finally reached 1.8K. Woo! Or hold on, let me do a Gilly. Woo! I was probably no chill doing a Giuliano impression, but both guys didn't have audio, so I couldn't let them in. But we've done it, guys. We have done it. Yes, sir. Let's go. I'd like to thank everybody who's been involved with my live chats, who's kept the comedy alive and done some banter with the tank, and especially those who have showed up for my tank talk what is it? Call-in shows. Thank you guys for participating in that sense. I know it can be very difficult and takes a lot of bravery. Thank you for showing up live, including Pulse. And I'm sorry, Pulse, but the audio just doesn't connect. Wait a minute. Okay, let's see if I can get audio from Pulse now. Speak to me, Pulse. Pulse. Oh shit, man. The volume's on. If this were StreamYard, he'd definitely be able to do this. But I think Restream's audio system is absolute dog shit. I'm gonna keep Pulse on for as long as I can, but until he gets the volume sorted out. But we can't hear him. Let's fucking go, yeah. Just stream after stream after stream. It took a little bit, guys. It took a little bit, but we finally reached the promised land. All it takes is just just enough work. Congrats. Thank you, Drew Ups. All right. Well, Pulse is trying to get his audio situation fixed. Let's continue with this fight. Wait a minute. There. Okay.
I don't.
Oh, there we go.
Is
there
my
we go.
audio on? I can't.
Yeah. Now I can hear Pulse, but I guess now he can't hear me. Pulse. Maybe have my YouTube open while you're here so that you can hear me. Ah, shit. Womp, womp, womp. Oh, well. Happens, man. Okay. Uh, hello.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can hear you. I can hear
I,
you.
I'm not sure what's going on. I
Y-
guess
y-
it's technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's technical. For some reason, Pulse can't hear me. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, man. I can't do it unless we do it on
I'm not
StreamYard.
sure. I'll just watch. Support it.
All right, sounds good. Sorry, man. That sucks. I hate Restream, dude. I hate fucking Restream. But ran out of hours on StreamYard, so we're here. Mario Bueno Silva versus Jacqueline Cavalcante. So I think Cavalcante is good at stuffing takedowns. She's able to do so against Josiane Nunes. Did against Nora Cornola. It was a split, but her takedown defense is mostly good. And if as long as she only gets taken down once or twice, and she usually wins them because she's just a pro on the feet. She's an excellent kickboxer. She dominates with the pressure. Like just gets her combinations off, rips them to the body and to the head. Good leg kicks. Like she just overwhelms her opponents on the feet, and then gets taken down occasionally, and that's what keeps the fights close. But she manages to get to her feet often. Like she's not just a fish out of water on the ground. She can fight for positions and her get up ability is decent. Like, and for that reason, I think that's the only thing Mayra Bueno Silva has in her back pocket here. I really think it's the only way she wins this fight is if she chooses to wrestle and her wrestling game has just been improved by 1,000 leagues or what is it? Improves 1,000-fold. Like, unless she can dominate on the mat, which she wasn't even able to do against Raquel Pennington. I don't think she wins this one. If this stays on the feet, Jacqueline Cavalcante's winning. Her striking's way more advanced. She's taller, she's longer. She can pick it Buena Silva at range, whereas Silva just throws big meaty hooks, all crafty vet. Yeah. Everything she has, but they usually miss. And yeah, it's going to be one-sided beatdown on the feet. On the ground, it could get interesting, but I think Jacqueline Cavalcante's wrestling defense is underrated. So give me Jacqueline Cavalcante to win a decision. Next, we got a fight. We're starting to get into the section of this card that a lot of people are bickering and sort of conflicted over, going back and forth, can't agree with each other on. Ricky Simone against Raoni Barcelos. I think Barcelos, if he can beat Peyton Talbot, 9-0 Peyton Talbot, younger than him by like what, almost a decade or over a decade. If he can beat fucking Peyton Talbot, who's a decent wrestler too, can beat Cody Garbrandt, who used to be bantamweight champion, and his wrestling defense was actually pretty good for that fight, but Barcelos still managed to beat him. I don't think Ricky Simone can win. He was getting beat up by Javid Basharat, wasn't even taken down during that fight. People forget, man. Vinny Oliveira took down Ricky Simone and reversed him and was the better wrestler in there for 3 rounds. People forget, man. Cameron Smotherman took him to a decision and, made it super competitive. And he didn't like being the nail, constantly on the back foot. Raoni Barcelos is a marauder. I still think that Barcelos is a better striker than Ricky Simone. Like, aside from a fluke straight right, Ricky Simone was getting outstruck in that fight. He's lucky he landed the good shot. Cameron Smotherman was smothering him. He had won at least one of those rounds. He made it very competitive with Ricky Simone. And Simone managed to get out of there with the win with his wrestling. But Raoni Barcelos is an excellent wrestler. His takedown defense is elite. He's really good at finding his way on top position and reversing on bottom. Like, Raoni's a really solid BJJ guy with wrestling to boot. So, and he got knocked out by Umar, aged like a fine wine. Kyler Phillips beat him. Not the best win, but Ricky Simone isn't nearly as fast as Kyler Phillips. This was Kyler in his prime. Ricky Simone, how old is he? He's 33. He's only 5 years younger than Raoni Barcelos, but I think he's more washed than Barcelos. I really do. If you're having a competitive fight with Smotherman, then Barcelos is going to make it competitive and then some. I think Barcelos is going to take Simone down like Vinicius Oliveira did. I think on the feet, I think Raoni Barcelos' boxing is actually really good when he's in the pocket and up close and personal and pressuring, which he's going to do for the entirety of this fight, by the way. Ricky Simone's going to be trying to make it a boxing match and shoot some takedowns. He can't get Barcelos down. And on the feet, this is the problem. Simone could knock out Barcelos. He could smash Barcelos and, finish him late and just be the quicker guy. But Barcelos finds a way to close the distance and make it his fight to the point where the speed and the power and the age difference doesn't matter. He was able to do it against Cody Garbrandt and Peyton Talbot. These are both young guys. Like, Cody looks super washed, but he is a young guy too. Ricky Simone is within Barcelos' sort of age range. So I think, we could even see Barcelos be quicker in here against Ricky Simone. I really think that could happen. So for that reason, I think Barcelos is going to pull him into deep waters, drown him on the feet, beat him up. I really think this is going to be a one-sided beatdown from Barcelos. He's just an excellent wrestler, and he's good enough on the feet to win the rounds decisively, not have to worry about Simone's power. So give me Barcelos by decision. All right, next one is between Jamal Emmers and Haider Emil. I got to give Haider Emil here. I just came up with that on the fly. He's hiding meals, folks. He's anorexic. Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through. Haider Emil. You got to give him a meal for give her a meal for. Well, he gives her a meal. Let's just put it that. I mean, look at that face. He gives her a meal any day. But yeah, I mean, he might give Pretty Boy a meal too. No Diddy. Jamal Emmers. Win-loss. Gabriel Miranda, he made it way too close with him. Way too close. He got taken down on occasion. Out wrestled in moments. Made it competitive on the feet. And then he found the straight right and knocked him out. But that was a war. And that should not have been a war whatsoever. Fucking, what's his name? Morgan Sherrier made it easy against him. Made it look easy. Nate Landwehr, he drops Nate twice. And then Nate bounces back and wins because Emmers has low fight IQ and makes it the fight that his opponent wants. And throws all technique and, fight IQ out the window. And gets destroyed. Dennis Bazooka, he knocks out, but Dennis is a nobody. Jack Jenkins, he loses to. I don't really like Jack Jenkins that much. I don't think he's that good. So that's honestly a really poorly aged loss. But Jack Jenkins, what do I say? He didn't look good. There's a chance that Emmers could have won that. Jenkins did not look good, but Emmers shouldn't have made it that close with him. If he was beating him, he should have done it decisively, but he didn't, and that's why he lost. Yeah, unless it's just somebody like a Dennis Bazooka, literally unless it's Dennis Bazooka, Emmers can't beat him. He can't beat these guys. Miranda, he was going tooth and nail. That's a terrible look. Haider Emil, meanwhile, took down Jose Delgado in moments. And then Delgado got back up. At least he tried against Delgado. And he came close. So that tells me that Emil does still have some wrestling technique in there. Which could easily get him the win here against Jamal Emmers. But then Delgado knocks him out with a knee. Easy. He also did that to Nathaniel Wood. So that's not the worst loss in the world. William Gomez, he goes to a split within wins. That's a really good win. Gomez is probably going to be a champion in Aries or PFL or somewhere. So yeah, that guy's a future champion. And Haider Emil made it look easy. Well, he didn't make it look easy, but he kept it really competitive, got in Gomez's face, pressured heavy, beat him up. That's a good win. Jong Young Lee, he knocks out in, within a round, within a minute. And Jong Young Lee, fucking Daniel Santos had to take him to a decision, and Emil knocks him out easy. Fernie Garcia knocks him out. I think Hyder Emil is very good. He's like Frankie Edgar. He's good at staying in it, and despite being a smaller guy, he always makes it a scrap, and he doesn't just let the fight slip away from him. He always gets up in his opponent's face, always pressuring, always exchanging, and he's got a good chin too. I know that Delgado knocked him out, but Delgado was going to knock out Nathaniel Wood too. Like, that's just a tough break for him. Against other guys who are still pretty solid, I do think that Emil, it showed that he belonged there. Small Emmers, I feel like Emmers is going to beat up Emil and maybe drop him at one point, but then Emil's going to, come roaring back. He's going to make it a fight, not the fight Emmers wants. He's going to pressure Emmers against the cage. And at some point, I think Emmers is going to crumble. I think the rip and shots of Hyder Emil are going to be too much for him at some point. Emmer's best chance to knock out Emil's round 1. We saw he couldn't do it against Nate. What tells us he's going to do it against Hyder Emil? Like, there's definitely a chance he hurts Emil at some point, but he's not going to finish it. I really don't think he's going to finish it. And then Emil is going to come back and put his lights out late in the fight. I think he's going to overwhelm him. I think it's going to be death by 1,000 cuts. So Emil by third round KO is the prediction for me here. Thoughts on betting shit. Is the UFC rigged? I feel like the main cards, like the big pay-per-views, are not rigged. I don't think the pay-per-views are rigged. The main cards of pay-per-views are not rigged, in my opinion. Prelims and early prelims, all bets are off, dude. Then that's an ironic little pun there, but all bets are off. If it starts getting in the early prelims, or it's the main card of a fight night, an Apex fight night, if anything happens on an Apex fight night, could easily be rigged. Managers of the fighters could reach out to their opponents, ask them if they want to throw, and they could accept. They easily could. Like Vince Morales, for example. They were given offers. The thing is, I don't think it's at the highest level. I don't think it's Dana and Hunter, paying off these guys or asking them to throw the fights. I think it's the fighters' managers the fighters' managers and coaches going to these guys and asking if they can throw. I think it's out of the UFC's control, and they'll ask them, like Dana asked Isaac Dolgarian. But then again, you can't always trust what Dana says. But he said, we asked Dolgarian if he wants to fight, if there's something weird with the line movements, and he's like, no, I'm going to kill him. And the UFC were like, okay, then go in there. And then as soon as it looked fixed, Dana called the FBI. So I feel like a lot of it's out of their control. I feel like there are rigged fights, but the UFC isn't behind them. I feel like it's the fighters and the coaches in the gyms that are behind it. They're involved in the betting scandal. They got people who are odds makers who flip the odds and what people need to put money on, and then they go out and they do the result the odds makers want. And I just think that Dana and Hunter, they don't know what's going on. Maybe there's some like anything involving Robbie Lawler with Nick Diaz and Nico is a little suspicious. I don't think they do it all the time, though. I don't think they rig every single fight. They can't. It's impossible. Like, they bleed. They get injuries. Freak shit happens. There's stuff the UFC doesn't want to happen that happens. But I think for the smaller cards and for the prelims of the pay-per-views, I think it's more likely that fighters that are under the radar that nobody cares about make deals with each other to make some money from the odds makers. I do. I think for Apex fight nights, it's like, oh God, no turning back. It always happens on the Apex fight nights that the James Krause betting scandal happens. Isaac Dolgarian betting scandal happens. It's always on the cards that are under the radar this happens. I would not trust those, including this one. There are some fights with some scrubs that could easily get thrown here. And that's why I'm not going to take, predicting these fights as seriously as I would otherwise, or get so it's not take seriously because I do, but get emotionally invested in it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to emotionally invest in this shit. Because I know there are some outcomes that are absolutely fucking ridiculous and, aren't my fault that when they occur. So I do think it's the Apex Fight Night cards that are getting this betting shit done to them. The odds makers, the fighters, the gyms. The pay-per-views I would trust as, that's, none of those fights are rigged. Main events, I know Vinny said that Alex Pereira versus Magomed was fixed, but people reacted to that right hand. Factory X Gym is under investigation, I heard. Good. Anybody who takes on opponents of the New England cartel and fighters coming out of New England who beat them easily, they should be investigated too. They're literally called the cartel. Allegedly. No diddy. Yeah. I don't know if you're messing around with any New England fighters, you should get investigated. Anyway, now we got Marco Tulio against Christian Leroy Duncan, and I went with Duncan, man. I know Marco Tulio. He's fun to watch. I'm rooting for him. He got that sick spinning back kick on Contender Series. Beat Yusri Belgarui, which is aged like a fine wine. I know he's solid, but Ihor Pateria, he kept him in there longer than he needed to. And then Trayshawn Gore, he got hurt at certain points by Trayshawn. He did. Gore cracked him with some shots. And I can't say that he's not going to get hit with a similar shot by Christian Leroy Duncan. I just can't. If you're allowing yourself to get beaten up a little bit by Trayshawn and have a back and forth fucking fight that's competitive and you get wobbled at certain points by Gore, nah, no way, dude. Christian Leroy Duncan's going to hit you with something. He did it with Eric Anders. Polyev, he made it close, but Polyev is actually pretty solid. Fresh off Contender Series, scary prospect, and Duncan made it very competitive, but he did win. Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop, small cage, 2 weeks notice, at night, middle of the night. I know Gregory Rodriguez is great. I love Gregory Rodriguez, but that was just a tough fight for him, and not ideal circumstances either. Ribeiro, he knocks out. Tallulah, he knocks out. I think that Duncan has very unique striking and does have a lot of finishing ability. He just needs to get the right shot off. But he can do it. He just needs good timing. Eric Anders, former football player, beat what was his name? Oh, gee, Chris Weidman. Beat Chris Weidman, but Weidman, he dropped him. He dropped him at a few points. Maybe it's not the best win for Duncan, but the way that he's doing it, see, this is what I'm talking about. The way that he's doing it, punches and elbows, spinning back elbow. I know he throws a lot of spinning shit and it's very frustrating, but when he lands, he lands. And Marco Tulio, he allowed himself to get hurt by Gore. Gore, he sucks. He's not UFC level. He's got awful striking. He shouldn't be able to crack anybody. But he cracked Tulio, and Duncan could hit him with a head kick, a fucking elbow while they're up against the fence. Hit him with a nice slick combination. Christian Leroy Duncan has advanced striking that Tulio has yet to deal with. He didn't even deal with it from Belgarui. I think CLD is very elusive. I think he's elusive in his stand-up. He keeps his head on a swivel, doesn't get hit a lot. His only problem is getting taken down. And can Tulio take him down and smother him? Maybe, but we haven't seen it. We really haven't seen it. I think this is going to be a contest on the feet, and Duncan might get hurt from Tulio early on, but then second round, third round, there's a really good chance that CLD just hits him with something unique and throws him off balance and just KOs him out of nowhere. I really do. I think there's a really good chance. So Give me Duncan by round 2 KO. I think this is going to be the most fun fight on the entire card. Absolute war. I think CLD's live to land something crazy. Because Marco Tulio just hasn't dealt with someone with this advanced of striking before. And CLD, it's hard to hit him. So, yeah, give me Duncan. I think he's going to stay in it and then find a finish. Nice breakdown. Thank you. You know, I used to have a show called Hank's Breakdown, but it wasn't regarding picks. It was just my mental health. Then we have Bonfim taking on Chris Taco Padilla. I wanted to pick Padilla real bad here. I did. You know, I told Larry CTM that, you know, a lot of these fights seem really cut and dry, and the underdogs are obvious. And just looking at it on paper, it looks like, you know, I'm not going to be switching that much. I switched a lot on this card, guys. With further research, I switched a lot. Like, I switched from Padilla to Bonfim. Was considering Tulio and then went with CLD. Considered Emmers, went with the meal. Went with Barcelos. And a lot of people are picking, you know, Simone. So I thought a lot of people would be agreeing with me on what the underdogs for this card are, but they didn't. They didn't at all. A lot of people picked Tulio. A lot of people, not a lot of people picked Emmers. A lot of people went with Simone. The ones I trust. A lot of people went with Chris, and then I switched to Bonfim. Ismail Bonfim was looking decent against Nazim Sadikov. And then all it took was one fucking question mark kick, and the doctor stopped it. Really bad break for Ismail Bonfim. That the Gabriel's showing up later on. Against Vince Pichel, I really didn't like that look. That was such a bad look for Ismail Bonfim. It was. They had the fight rebooked later on. I'll never forget Ismail Bonfim fucking, you know, staring at Vince Pichel after he missed weight and then smiling at him. Like, yeah, I missed weight and I'm going to take everything you work for, motherfucker. I'm going to take your purse. I may have a part of my purse taken away, but I'm going to kick your ass. And I thought, you know, he's an asshole, and Vince Pichel was right to be upset about it. I actually messaged Vince Pichel after that happened, and he got back to me. He actually replied to me and said, yeah, man, it's just been tough. I worked really hard for that, but, you know, I'm keeping myself staying strong. You know, I'll get through this. He's a good guy, and he's got a Sean Strickland mustache too. He looks like Sean Strickland's anorexic younger brother, but he's a good guy. It was really cool getting to chat with him a little. Benoit Saint Denis, this loss aged really well because Mauricio Hoofy got subbed the exact same way by BSD. So it's not like BSD's low level. He just got caught and he tried his best to get up, and BSD was just too good that night. So I'm not going to give him slack for that. I'm going to give him some slack for that. And then Nazim, he was doing well. He was looking good against, and then he got kicked in the head. So Chris Padilla, man, there's a really good chance that Chris Padilla throws a counter shot, sort of like Sadikov hit him with that, you know, question mark kick, and busts him open and gets the doctor stoppage. Because he was able to do that with Rongzhu. He got the doctor stoppage off of a single counter elbow, which was really impressive. James Lontop, he submits easy, but Lontop sucks. But Rongzhu, he was able to find that shot. Can he find the shot against Bonfim during the fight? That's the question. I'm never going to back the horse of some random shot doing it. Like when I picked Nazim to win, I didn't have him by doctor stoppage in round 1. I had him winning all 3 rounds. Chris Padilla, I think I picked Rongzhu, and he was winning that fight. And then, you know, the random shot stopped the fight. Chris Padilla did beat Jai Herbert, but it was a split. It was close. Sort of shows what Padilla's level is. Against guys right outside the rankings, he might struggle a little bit. He even struggled against Rongzhu and then found the shot. I think he's gotten really lucky so far. And you could really argue that Jai Herbert won that shit. I think Bonfim's on the level of a Jai Herbert. He looked really slick against Nazim. Really slick. He could have won that by decision. He lost to Benoit, but that's a great loss. Other than that, he's looked competitive against everybody. Knocked out Terrence McKinney. That's a great win. I don't know. I think he's going to look like he did against Sadikov, except he's not going to get hit by a fluke shot. There's a really good chance that Chris does this, but I don't think he's going to. I think Bonfim is going to beat him over 3 rounds. I think without the fluke, Bonfim is just a better technical striker, better output. This is tough. This is going to bite me in the ass if Chris wins this. But I do think that Bonfim is going to beat him up over 3 rounds. I do. I think he's going to stay out of trouble this time around. So, give me Bonfim by decision. All right. Next one is between Muslim Salikov and Uros Medic. Medic! And this is tough for me. It really is, guys. I want to pick Uros. I want to. And there are other predictors that are telling me, yeah, it's going to be Uros. But, dude, this is just styles make fights right here. This is a really bad stylistic matchup for Uros. We've seen that Salikov gets his wins through crazy-ass shots. And people forget, man. He hurt Santiago. He cracked him over and over again. He almost put him out. Randy Brown knocked him out with a straight right. Randy Brown's fucking tall. He's a fucking giant. He's got gigantism. Dude's a fucking freak. And for the welterweight division. And he put him out because he had better reach. Nicholas Dalby. Went tooth and nail with him. Had a tough back and forth fight. It's impressive that Muslim didn't get put out by him. Song Kanan. Spinning wheel kick from Muslim Salikov. He's starting to feel himself. No Diddy. No Jackson. What are some other ones? No Rush Hour. But yeah, Muslim Salikov, he's starting to get wins through finishes. And that tells me that he's going to win here. He knocked out Carlos Leal with just a counter right. That's all it took, 1 round. Leal threw like crazy. And then Salikov caught him. Sankanon, he finished him in the most insane fucking way possible. Hit him with the spinning wheel kick out of fucking nowhere. Like, that is super impressive. He's starting to get his killer instinct back, dude. The king of Kung Fu is starting to show it. He's starting to put his Kung Fu on display. He was getting demotivated, demoralized by really solid opponents. And then he just flipped the switch. Started to get back that Kung Fu, man. And by the way, I'm fucking pissed that Stephen Wonderboy Thompson lost to Gabriel Bonfim. He won those 2 rounds clearly. Why can't they just give Wonderboy a win? Why the fuck? I'm angry, dude. He should be coming off a win right now. But yeah, Uros Medic. You know, he knocked out Tim Means, the Dirty Bird, but Tim Means is low level. I like the Dirty Bird, but he's low level. Beat Matthew Semmelsberger. He never won again after that. Lost to Oral by neck cranked. I get it. But yeah, I get it. But then Punahele Soriano puts him out. Puna knocks him out with just a right hook in a round. That's all it takes. And then Gilbert Urbina knocks him down. Seconds into the fight. Seconds into the fight. I can't stress that enough. He could have been put out in, like, you know, if he got put out by Gilbert Urbina, if he got hit with something and then went down and then was out of it, like hit at the right moment, everybody would be picking Muslim. Everybody would be picking Muslim Salikov. Everybody. But Uros came back, and then he got a straight left, knocked him out. But he was hurt. He was hurt by Gilbert. Dude, fucking Ricky Tercios wasn't hurt at all by Gilbert. Man, he was never in trouble. Fucking Uros Medic gets on nearly chinned by Gilbert Urbina. Maybe the worst welterweight in the UFC. Awful. Gets knocked out by Punahele, who doesn't knock out anybody anymore. Super bad look. I think Solikov's going to hit him with a counter. They're going to exchange, and Solikov's going to be the one landing first. Because Uros Medic hasn't been the one landing first in his last 2 fights. You know, Tim Means is shit. So, of course, he gets the knockout. But anybody with a pulse. I mean, Semmelsberger hurt him. Semmelsberger hurt him early on in that fight. 3 out of his last 5 fights, he's getting cracked and put on the mat early. I don't like the look. I think Solikov has the power. He's got the power. He's got superhuman timing at this point. He's starting to get in the fucking zone. I think he's going to find the chin of Uros early here, and he's a fucking killer. So I think he's going to find the finish. He's going to put him out. Solikov, counter right, counter left, whatever. Spinning heel kick maybe even. I think Uros Medic is going to get caught. He gets caught against everybody. And Solikov's a killer once he knows someone's hurt. So Sol got by round 1 KO. Seems like the clear pick to me. I don't know why anybody's picking Uros. He fucking got dropped by Gilbert Urbina. But enough said. What else do you need to say? Wait a minute. Then we got Matt Schnell against Joseph Morales in the co-main event. Not a competitive co-main event. What would I replace this with? I'd honestly replace it with Solikov versus Medic. Tulio versus Duncan's another one. What else? Simone versus Barcelos. No, I wouldn't put this as a co-main event. It'd just be boring. But Simone versus Barcelos. Tulio versus Duncan. Solikov versus Medic. I would have as a co-main event. But instead, we got this. We somehow have kept Matt Schnell in a co-main event in the year of our Lord 2025, taking on Joseph Morales. And he's just bad, dude. Matt Schnell is past his prime, way past his prime. Jimmy Flick got Matt Schnell down on the mat. He was on his back. No diddy. And Jimmy Flick, he made it competitive. Matt Schnell had to dig deep and reverse and find his way on top. This is a horrible look for him. If you can't finish Jimmy Flick or put in a submission or do anything, like, what are you going to do? You're supposed to finish guys like Flick. Instead, you let Flick get on top of you and nearly beat you. He's the worst flyweight in the whole fucking UFC, and you took him to a really back and forth decision. Horrible look. And he got taken down. Joseph Morales was able to submit a 10-0 Kazakh fighter. Before that, had a really competitive fight with Imanol Rodriguez, which he won, but, you know, there's arguments and debates about it. But he still made it very competitive. And that aged like a fine wine. And then he beat Martins, Richard Martins. I don't know what his name is. Took him down and subbed him in round 1. So Joseph Morales is becoming a fucking killer on the mat. He's starting to become a submission artist. How the fuck did he submit Alibi Idris? Tell me. That is unfucking believable. So this guy is now in his prime. He's in his prime now. Also coming out of SAC. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, Joe. He's found a second wind. He's figuring out how to win these fights. Becoming a killer on the mat. He couldn't do it in the UFC. And he was also placed against really solid competition. So he got a bad break his first run in the UFC. Now he knows how to submit people. And he's submitting fucking killers. He submitted a 10-0 Kazakh fighter. This guy's got nothing for him, Matt Schnell. Cody Durden subbed him. That's a bad look now in hindsight. Fucking Urseg put him out cold. Nicolau destroyed him on the mat. Sumo Derji was wobbling him. I think there's a good chance Joe could even fucking drop Matt Schnell here. Only guy he hasn't gotten dropped by was fucking Cody Durden. Jimmy Flick put him on his ass. Urseg knocked him out. I think Joseph Morales could beat him up on the feet. Then he could easily take him down. Easily take him down. Does he submit him in round 1? Cody Durden couldn't do it. I think he's gonna carpet bag Matt Schnell first round. Second round, he's gonna get him down again, and then he's gonna latch in the sub. I do. I think first round is going to be on the feet with a little bit of wrestling here and there. And then round 2, I think Chanel's going to give up. Chanel's going to give up his back, going to give up bottom position. And then Morales is going to sub him any way he wants. Armbar, rear naked choke. Probably the patented rear naked choke. I see that happening. But I think Morales is way higher level than Matt Chanel. Way higher level. Sumoderji, he could be on a 4-fight losing streak before that Jimmy Flick win. And even that one was competitive. He could easily be on a 5-fight losing streak. I think Morales is going to dominate him. He's going to bully him. And then once Matt Chanel starts to become a quitter, Morales is going to get the rear naked choke round 2. I like Joseph Morales too. He needed to buy that TV. He needs to afford a platinum screen TV. All right? Because his stupid ass kids broke the TV. They broke the HD TV screen. So he needs to get a new TV. What's it called? Yeah, it's platinum screen TV, right? Yeah. He needs a new platinum, so he's got to submit he's got to submit Matt Chanel. He can finally afford a wide inch, you know. All right. Next fight is main event time between Gabriel Bonfim and Randy Brown. I think it's going to be Bonfim. I think it's going to be Bonfim by round 2 sub. A lot of people are saying round 1 sub for Bonfim. I don't think so. I'm going to give Randy Brown a little bit of credit. I think he's going to survive the first round. He should be ready for a wrestler in Gabriel Bonfim. But just because he's prepared doesn't mean that he can actually stuff the takedowns or neutralize the wrestling. He can do it early on because he'll be fully prepared for it. But as the fight goes on, Randy Brown starts to get sloppy. Gabriel Bonfim finally gets him down and then just puts in his patented guillotine or rear naked choke or an armbar. Like, he got submitted by Jack Della Maddalena. Della Maddalena dropped him and then got the submission easily. Against someone who grappled with him a little bit in Brian Battle, he took a loss. Elise Zaleski took him down like 3 or 4 times. Like, he's not a good anti-wrestler. He isn't. He's lucky he got out of there against Elise Zaleski. Brian Battle, he didn't get so lucky. Nicholas Dalby is just a marauding striker, and he put him out. But these 2 fights are making me nervous. These 2 fights right here. Because he got taken down way too much, got pressured way too much. Gabe Bonfim wanted to. He could just do what Brian Battle did and fucking collar and elbow, lean on him against the fence, take him down. He could pressure and not even get a sub, and he could still win. He did that against Wonder Boy. He pressured. He got him down a few times. And then Wonder Boy got back up and started to kick his ass a little bit on the feet. And then, you know, sadly enough, Bonfim took the split. Should have gone to Wonder Boy. It's honestly a travesty. But other than Wonder Boy, he's doing this to people. He's fucking taking down Chaos Williams and subbing him easy. Orange Loser. He outboxes him, which is a really good look. Nicholas Dalby gets knocked out, and people are like, oh, MMA math, Randy Brown's got to beat him then. I don't know, dude. He got taken down by Lizzie Zaleski too many times. Got pressured and almost taken down by Brian Battle too many times. I don't think Randy Brown's wrestling is good. I really don't. I don't think it's as good as Dalby's. He's not going to stay in it if he gets taken down. I think, like the Chaos Williams fight, I think Bonfim's just going to get him down, and then it's his world on the mat. It really is. If he gets down Brown once in this fight, it's going to be over. He's just too much of a killer down there on the mat. And Randy Brown, I don't know if he's just as crafty a vet as Wonder Boy to manage to survive. I don't know, man. I don't think he can survive. I really don't. Even on the feet, I think Bonfim is way underrated. He made it competitive with Chaos, with Angelusa, made it competitive with Wonder Boy, even Trevin Giles too, and Trevin Giles isn't bad. Nicholas Dalby's the only one who figured him out on the feet. I think Randy Brown, he can keep himself very safe. I think he can pick him apart. And then once it hits the mat, it's over, and I think it's going to be round 2. Gabriel Bonfim, Darce or guillotine choke. Just like that. Just like that. Just like that. So there we go. That's going to do it for the preview and picks from Hank the Tank. The whole card. Honestly, really solid one. I think we're going to have a lot of finishes. It looks like a good card to me, guys. And this is good competition taking on each other. So some high stakes fights. I look forward to it. Even if the fights don't deliver, the name value on this is good enough that I will be tuned in. Yeah, I think this is an underrated card. So look forward to it, guys. Now maybe there'll be some betting nonsense and some fucking Isaac Dolgarian shit. Be prepared for that, and maybe don't bet for a while until the pay-per-view card happens. But in terms of the Apex cards, they're fun. They're usually pretty fun. So tune in for that. I think that's going to do it, guys. So let me think. What impressions did I do early on in this thing? Because I did some impressions. All right, I gotta scroll a little bit. Yeah, I did Giuliano, but Giuliano's been a little overdone. So that's gonna do it for Hank the Tank. Thank you for watching, guys. It's me, Grand Animal Hank the Tank, and you've been the Troopers and Grinders. And as always, you have escaped the war zone for now.